திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். புழியர்கோன் வெப்பொழித்த புகழியர்கோன் கடல் போற்றி, ஆழிமிசை கல்முதப்பில் அணைந்த பிரான் அடி போற்றி, வாழி திரு நாவலூர் வன்றொண்டர் பதம் போற்றி, ஊழிமலி திருவாத ஊரர் திருத்தாள் போற்றி. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். So today we are going to discuss Sundarar Thevaram, padhigam 7.48, and this is a very special padhigam. And in Thevaram we have several padhigams which are praising the Panchaksharam, the namasivāya mantram, and there are two padhigams of Sambandar available, and one padhigam of Tirunāvukkaraśar and one padhigam of Sundarar. So we have seen in the past padhigam 3.22, that is Tirunāna Sambandar's Panchakshara padhigam. And we haven't yet seen Tirunāna Sambandar's namasivāya padhigam, which is 3.49. We haven't seen that yet. Tirunāvukkaraśar's namasivāya padhigam we have seen 4.11, Sotru Naivediyan. And today we are going to look at Sundarar's namasivāya padhigam 7.48. So this padhigam is sung on the Salam Kodumudi. You know, the other three padhigams, 3.22 and 3.49 and 4.11, they are known as common padhigams. When we say common or general, that means that they are not addressing the Lord at any specific Salam. As you know, Thevaram padhigams, they are sung at various Salams. So the place name and the Swami name, etc. will come in every song. But there are several padhigams which are general padhigams, which are not specific to a specific Salam. So they are known as either common or general common padhigams. They are not Salam specific. So the other three padhigams, 3.22, 3.49 and 4.11, they are non-Salam specific padhigams, general padhigams. Whereas this padhigam is specific to one Salam called Kodumudi. Kodumudi is a very special Salam. The Kaveri river that comes from the Kodagu hills in the western hills flows north-south till it comes to this Salam, Kodumudi. Then at this Salam, it makes a sharp turn and starts flowing west to east. So this is where it becomes reaches the plains, you can say. From till that time it is sort of a hilly region, and here it becomes plains. So this is a very special place, and Kaveri is very wide, and the temple is located about maybe about 500 feet from the Kaveri river bank. And it is a very special Salam because there are sannidhis for Brahma and Vishnu also. As you know, Vishnu sannidhi is there in many Salams, but Brahma sannidhi is present only in a few Salams. So in this Salam, it is Brahma and Vishnu worship Shiva here. So that is one specialty. And also this is a Salam where we have padhigams of Sambandar and Tirunāvukkaraśar also available. There are Tirunāvukkaraśar and Sambandar, Tirunāvukkaraśar and Sundarar, they have gone to many Salams and sung padhigams. And we have some padhigams available and many padhigams have been lost. And among the padhigams that are available, some Salams have padhigams by only Sundarar, some Salams have padhigams only by Tirunāvukkaraśar, some Salams have padhigams only by Sambandar, some have padhigams by two of them, some have padhigams by all three of them. So Kodumudi is one of the special Salams which has padhigams by all three of them. So with that background, we will look at the periya purāṇam songs. We will look at two periya purāṇam songs which describe Sundarar's yatrai, when he is going on pilgrimage, and when he reached Kodumudi, what he felt and why he sang this padhigam. That is what Sekar is describing in his periya purāṇam song. Normally we only look at the padhigam songs in our sessions here, but occasionally I thought we should also include some periya purāṇam songs so that we get the background. So we are going to look at 2 periya purāṇam songs and then we will go into the padhigam. So with that, Pavani, you can repeat with me the first periya purāṇam verse.
Sir.
Koṅginil,
ponni,
ten-karaik, kaṟaiyūrk, Kodumudi, kōyilmun,
kuṟugic,
caṅga-veṇ kuڵaiyar, உழை வலஞ்செய்து, சார்ந்து, அடி அன்பினில் தாழ்ந்து, பொங்கிய வேட்கை பெருகிட, தொழுது, புனிதர் பொன்-mēniyai நோக்கி, இங்கு இவர் தம்மை மறக்க ஒண்ணாது என்று எழுந்த meyk-kuṟippinil எடுப்ப. Good. So in this periya purāṇam verse, the sentence is not complete. You know, in kavyams or when you are narrating a story, sometimes the concept that you are trying to describe and the things that you are trying to explain or describe, sing, all that cannot be fit into one verse. So what he is trying to say, it is continuing into the next verse. But for our discussion, we will stop at this point and look at the first verse, and then we will take up the second verse. So what you have to remember is, the sentence is halfway done in the first verse, and it is going to continue in the second verse. Now we will look at the meaning. What he is saying is, Sundarar came to this Kodumudi temple. He went around the temple and then he did namaskaram. And then as he was having the darshanam of the Lord, you know, bhakti was bubbling up in his heart. And he felt that, you know, I can never forget him. With that thought, he started singing. That's the meaning, summary of this first verse. So he's going to say what he started singing in the next verse, but he's saying he started is how he says. Kuṛippinil eduppa means he started. The next song is going to say he started singing, etc. So we will look at the phrase. Koṅginil, ponnit, ten-karaik, kaṟaiyūrk, Kodumudik, kōyilmun, kuṟugic. Koṅgu is the name of the region. You know, even though historically we have names for different regions of the country, right? What we call as India today is made up of many kingdoms historically, and in each kingdom they have names for the different regions. So Koṅgu is the name of the region. You know, what we today call as Erode, Coimbatore, that region is called the Koṅgu region. Like Madras area, Kanchipuram, Madras, that area is known as Thondai region. And Sirgazhi, Tanjavur, Tiruchirappalli, that region is called Chola region. And Madurai, Tirunelveli, Rameswaram, that area is called the Pandya region. And of course, what we call today as Kerala is known as Chera region. So there are different kingdoms. So the Kongu is the name of the region. In the Kongu region, ponnit ten-karaik. Ponni is the name of Kaveri. Pon means gold, and because Kaveri brings the riches to the region, they called it Ponni. So in Tamil literature, Kaveri will come, Ponni will come. So Kaveri is the most common name, but Ponni is also frequently used. So Ponni is name of Kaveri. Ten-karaik. Ten is south, Karai is bank. On the southern banks, southern bank, right? So Kaveri river comes from north to south and then makes a left turn towards the east and flows to the Bay of Bengal, many 100 kilometers away. So this Kodumudi temple is on the southern bank of Kaveri river. So that's what is describing. Ponnit ten-karaik, on the southern bank of Kaveri river. Kaṟaiyūrk Kodumudi Koyil. Kaṟaiyūrk is the name of the place. Kodumudi is the name of the temple. But today, if we say Kaṟaiyūrk, nobody will know. Kodumudi, everybody will know. Or what I mean is that Kodumudi is the name of the place today. But historically, that place is known as Kaṟaiyūrk, and the temple is known as Kodumudi. And over many, many centuries, the temple name became the common name for the place. I talked about the Chidambaram as an example. Chidambaram is the name of the temple. Thillai is the name of the place. But that place came to be known as Chidambaram itself. Temple name became that. Like that here, the temple name Kodumudi became the name of the place itself. So in Kaṟaiyūrk, Kodumudi Koyil. In Kaṟaiyūrk, in the kōyilmun. In kōyilmun kuṟugic. Kuṟugidal is to reach. So he reached the front of the Kodumudi temple in Kaṟaiyūrk. That is the meaning of that first line. koṅginil ponnit ten-karaik Kodumudi kōyilmun kuṟugic. He reached the temple entrance, and then what did he do? caṅga-veṇ kuڵaiyar uழை வலஞ்செய்து சார்ந்து. Then he went around the temple of Shiva. That's the meaning of the phrase. caṅga-veṇ kuڵaiyar uழை வலஞ்செய்து. Caṅga is Shankha, which means like a shell. Veṇ is white. Kuḍai is the earring that men wear. You know, in the olden days, what men wear was referred to in Tamil as kuḍai. What women wear was referred to as thodu. And today, even today, we do use the word thodu to refer to women's earrings. So in Thevaram, there are many, many songs where Shiva will be described as wearing kuḍai. And that kuḍai is made up of shell and it is white. So that's what caṅga-veṇ kuḍai. The earring, white, bright shell earring. That's the meaning of that. caṅga-veṇ kuḍai. So caṅga-veṇ kuڵaiyar is the Shiva who is wearing that kuḍai. caṅga-veṇ kuڵaiyar, Shiva, uழை வலஞ்செய்து. Uழை is place or near, right? Here it refers to the Garbhagraham, the Swami Sannidhi. That is called uழை here. Uழை is the place, so the place of Shiva. That means the Garbhagraham. Valam செய்து. Valam செய்தல் is to do pradakshina, to go around. Valam செய்து, he went around Shiva's Sannidhi. சார்ந்து. Then he reached there, he reached the Sannidhi. Sārdal is to reach. Like a kurugi is to reach, Sārdal is to also reach. Sārndu, he reached. Adi anbinil tāழ்ந்து. Adi is feet. Shiva's holy feet. Anbinil tāழ்ந்து. Anbu is bhakti. Tāழ்ந்து is to prostrate, to do namaskaram. So, the whole meaning of second line, caṅga-veṇ kuṟippinil ulai valanjeydu saarndu adi anbinil tāழ்ந்து, means he went around Shiva's sannidhi and then did namaskaram with deep devotion to Shiva's holy feet. And then, what did he do? Pongiya vetkai perigadat தொழுது. Tāழ்தல் is to do namaskaram. தொழுதல் is to worship with folded hands. So, தொழுது with folded hands. What happened? Pongiya vetkai perigada. Vetkai is desire. Here it means the deep desire that he has for Shiva. That is deep love he has for Shiva. Pongiya vetkai. Pongadal is to bubbling up, to have plenty of. Right? When you put milk on a vessel and put it on the stove, once it heats up, then it will boil. So, bubbling up, boiling, that kind of thing, to rise up. So, the love in his heart is rising up, bubbling up. With great love, perigada. Perigadal is to increase. So, with a lot of love increasing in his heart, தொழுது, he worshipped with folded hands. Punidar pon-mēniyai nokki. Punidar is a Sanskrit word. Punita, right? That means the pure one. So here Punidar refers to Shiva, the holy one, the pure one, Shiva. Pon-mēniyai nokki. Pon is gold. I talked about the ponni, right? Pon is gold. Meni is body. Pon-mēniyai is golden body. So Shiva's holy form. Shiva is always described as golden color, reddish color. That's how Shiva is described in Thevaram and in all scriptures. So, Nokki is to look. Punidar pon-mēniyai nokki, looking at Swami's golden form. Sundara starts thinking. Ingu ivar-thammai marakka onnadu. The Lord who dwells here, I can never forget. Marakka is to forget. Onnadu is not possible. Marakka onnadu is not possible to forget. Ingu ivar. Ingu is here. Ivar-thammai is he. With respectful ending. Ivar-thammai. So, Ingu ivar-thammai marakka onnadu. I cannot forget the Lord who dwells here. என்று எழுந்த meyk-kuṟippinil எடுப்ப. So that is a thought that occurs in his mind, that I can never forget this Lord. With that thought, எடுப்ப. Edupa is, he started singing. So kuṛippu is the thought. Meyk-kuṛippinil is the Mey is truth, or Mey is the Satyam. Kuṛippu is the thought. So the summary is that Sundarar reached the entrance of Kodumudi temple on the southern bank of Kaveri river in kaṟaiyūrk, which is in the Kongu region. And then he went inside, he did pradakshinam of the sannidhi, and then he did namaskaram, and then with folded hands, with deep love, he had darshanam of the Swami there. And as he was having that darshanam and he was immersed in the thought of Shiva, he started feeling that, I can never forget this. I can never forget the Swami of Kodumudi. With that thought, he started singing. That is the gist of the first, the periya purāṇam verse that we just read. So, Pavani, we can read the whole verse again.
Yes, sir. koṅginil, ponnit. Sir, it should be said as ponniten.
That the ending, whenever you see ik, it, ich, it, those kind of ip, when you see at the end of a phrase, a word, if you pause, you can often ignore that. Okay, but if you say it together with the next word, then you have to pronounce it. So, to give you an example, koṅginil, ponnit, ten-karaik, kaṟaiyūrk, Kodumudi, kōyilmun, kuṟugic. See, Kodumudi, koil, you will hear that ik. Kodumudi, koil.
Yes, sir.
But kuṟugic, I pass. So I don't say ich. Kuṟugic, I don't say. I say kuṟugic because there is a pass.
Yes. Okay.
That's how the pronunciation goes in Tamil.
Okay. koṅginil, ponnit, ten-karaik, kaṟaiyūrk, Kodumudi, kōyilmun, kuṟugic, caṅga-veṇ, kuḻaiyar, ulai, velanjeyundu, velanjeydu, சார்ந்து, அடி அன்புனில் தாழ்ந்து, பொங்கிய வேட்கு, பெருகிடுத்தொழுது, புனிதர் பொன்-mēniyai நோக்கி, இங்கு இவர்தமை மறக்க ஒண்ணாது என்று எழுந்த meyk-kuṟippinil எடுப்பார்.
Good. So now we go to the second periya purāṇam verse that we are going to see here. And Madhuri, you can repeat with me.
Okay.
அண்ணலார் அடிகள்
மறக்கினும்
நாம அஞ்செழுத்து அறிய எப்பொழுதும் எண்ணிய நாவே இன்சுவை பெருக இடையறாது இயம்பும் என்றுதனை திண்ணிய உணர்வில் கொள்பவர் மற்றுப் பற்று இலேன் எனச் செழும் தமிழால் நண்ணிய அன்பின் பிணிப்பு உற நவின்றார் நமச்சிவாய திருப்பதிகம். Good. So, in this song, the previous song he said, right, he started. meyk-kuṟippinil eduppa. He said he started. And then now in this song he is describing what he started. அண்ணலார் அடிகள் மறக்கினும் நாம அஞ்செழுத்து அறிய எப்பொழுதும் எண்ணிய நாவே இன்சுவை பிறகு இடையறாது இயம்பும். So what he is saying is that even if I forget Shiva's holy feet, my tongue will automatically say his holy name. He thought about that, and then that thought he incorporated in the maṭru padhigam and sang that padhigam. That is the gist of this verse. That summary of the padhigam that we are going to see now, maṭru, that padhigam, is in that summary, what he is singing is, even if I were to forget Shiva's holy feet, my tongue will automatically say his holy name. With that gist, he sang this padhigam, namasivāya Thiruppāndikkodumudi. Now we will look at the words and phrases in this periya purāṇam verse to get a better understanding. The first phrase is the whole thing which is in the quotes. அண்ணலார் அடிகள் மறக்கினும் நாம அஞ்செழுத்து அறிய எப்பொழுதும் எண்ணிய நாவே இன்சுவை பெருக இடையறாது இயம்பும். That is the thought he had. Sundarar had that thought. So how does secular intuitively feels with the Lord's grace what Sundarar felt at that time. It's not an easy thing, right? Because the Sekadar who sang Periya purāṇam, he was a great devotee. With Lord's grace, he was writing this Periya purāṇam. So, with Lord's grace, he could feel what Sundarar thought at that time. That's what he is singing. Intuition, or what we call as intuition by common people, is in this case, because he is embarking on this Periya purāṇam to sing the story of the devotees, with Lord's guidance, and the Lord is inside him to tell him, guide him as to what he has to sing. So that's what he's saying. Annalar adigal marakkinum nama anjeluthu ariya eppozhudum enniya nave insuvai peruga idayaradu iyambum. So the first phrase is Annalar adigal marakkinum. Annalar, Annal is the Lord. Annalar is with R is a respectful suffix. So Annalar is Swami, Swami Garu, like that kind of thing. Annalar. Adigal. Adigal is holy feet. Adi is padam. Adigal is plural, feet. So Lord's holy feet. Marakkinum. Marathal is to forget. The is even if. Marakkinum is even if I were to forget. Annalar adigal marakkinum. Even if I were to forget Shiva's holy feet. In our mind, we want to think of we know what we do, right? In our lives, we go, we want to say some prayer, we sit in front of the Swami and, either close our eyes or open the book or whatever we do, and we start reading, reciting, singing, whatever we do, and within 1 minute, our mind will divert. It will go somewhere. It will think about, what should I cook for the evening? Or it will think about, I hear a bird singing in the backyard. So mind will go. So mind will forget. So what is saying? Annala radical marakkinum. Even if I were to forget Lord's feet. Nama anjeluthu. Nama anjeluthu is holy name. Anjeluthu is panchaksharam. Anja is 5. Eluthu is aksharam. Anjeluthu is panchaksharam. His nama anjeluthu. The panchaksharam, that is his name. Namam means name, but also it shows it has a meaning of famous. Like Namam stands for name, but it also implies fame. So the famous Panchaksharam, Shiva's name Panchaksharam. Ariya eppozhudum enniya nave. Eppozhudum enniya na. Eppozhudum is always. Enniya is to think. Na is tongue. See, the tongue doesn't think. The mind thinks, and then the tongue speaks what the mind asks, thinks, right? When we speak, the tongue doesn't think. Mind is the one that is thinking. But here he is saying the tongue will do it automatically. It's like, what we call as a muscle memory, right? Even many times we do things automatically. We don't think about it, but we do it. Like when you're thinking, when you're walking, are we saying, I'm going to put the next step now, I'm going to take out the other step from the foot or the ground and put it in the front. We don't think. It all happens. Because we have used to that, it all happens automatically. And that's one of the things that people do in army and in fire department and all that, right? They do a lot of training. Why do they do that training? So that you keep doing it and we practice it, and then it becomes automatic. So when we are in a situation, you don't think, you automatically repeat what you have already learnt. Like that, he says, Insuvai peruga enniya nave. Eppozhudum enniya nave. Eppozhudum enniya na is always the tongue that always thought about you. Right? The tongue that always thought of the namasivāya, the holy panchaksharam. Means the mind's action, but the tongue doesn't think, but he says the tongue is doing it. That's how he is poetically saying it. Enniya nave, the tongue that thought of saying this panchaksharam all along, will automatically say, Insuvai peruga idayaradu iyambum. Suvai is taste, insuvai is sweet taste. Inimai is sweetness. When it comes as an adjective, it comes as in. In amudam. in suvai, in pal. In means sweet. Suvai is taste. The in suvai, sweet taste. Periya is to have a lot of it, to grow, to increase. Ēyargōn. Idai is gap. Ēyargōn means without gap. Iyambum, it will say. Iyambadal is to speak, to tell, and iyambum is it will say. So the whole phrase, Sundarar Adigal Marakkinum Nama Anjeluthu Ariya Eppozhudum Enniya Nave Insuvai Peruga Idayaradu Iyambum. Even if I were to forget Swami's holy feet, my tongue that has always thought of repeating Shiva's Panchaksharam will automatically say that Panchaksharam, causing a lot of sweet taste in my tongue. Endra idanai is if you split it, it will come as Endra idanai. In poetry, that combines as Endra idanai. So, Endra idanai, this thought. Thunniya unarvil kolbavar. Unarvu is consciousness. Thunniya unarvu means the strong consciousness. Means he's got a very strong thought. Thunniya unarvil kolbavar. It means he who has this strong thought. That is Sundarar. maṭru patru ilen என செழும் தமிழால் நன்னிய அன்பின் பிணிப்புவர நவின்றார் நமச்சிவாய திருப்பதி. So we will look at the phrases again. maṭru patru ilen. Patru is attachments, bandham. The word bandham in Sanskritam comes as patru. It doesn't come as, the equivalent Tamil word is patru. Matru is other. Maṭru patru is other attachments. Ilen, I don't have. I have no other attachments except my love for Shiva. Yena. Thus, with this, using this phrase, Selum Tamizhal, with wonderful Tamil. Selumai is flourishing, wonderful, nice. Tamil is in Tamil verses. Selum Tamizhal in nice Tamil verse. Nanniya Anbin Pinippu Ura Navindrar. Navindrar is, he sang, he spoke. Nanniya Anbu. Anbu is love. Nanniya Anbu is the love that is attached to Shiva. Pinippu is the binding. So, with the deep love binding him to Shiva, he sang Namacivāya Thiruppāndikkodumudi. He sang the Namacivāya Thiruppāndikkodumudi. Navindrar Namacivāya Thiruppāndikkodumudi. He sang the Namacivāya Thiruppāndikkodumudi. So just as, even if I were to forget Shiva's holy feet, my tongue, because of its long practice, it will automatically say the Panchaksharam. And thinking that, he started singing maṭru patru padhigam, which is called Namacivāya Thiruppāndikkodumudi. So, Madhuri, you can read the whole verse again.
Okay. Sundarar Adigal Marakkinum Nama Anjeluthu Ariya Eppozhudum Enniya Nave Insuvai Peruga Idayaradu Iyambum Endridanai Thunniya unarvil kolbavar maṭru patru ilen எனச் செழும் தமிழால் நன்னிய அன்பின் பிணிப்பு உறநவின்றார் நமச்சிவாய திருப்பதிகம்.
So now we will look at the first song of the Padhigam. 7.48 Padhigam, first song. Asmarama, you can repeat with me.
Okay.
maṭru patru
maṭru patru
எனக்கு இன்றி
எனக்கு இன்றி
நின் திருப்பாதமே
நின் திருப்பாதமே
மனம் பாவித்தேன்
மனம் பாவித்தேன்
பெற்றலும் பிறந்தேன்
பெற்றலும் பிறந்தேன்
இனி பிறவாத தன்மை
இனி பிறவாத தன்மை
வந்து எய்தினேன்
வந்து எய்தினேன்
கற்றவர் தொழுது ஏத்தும்
கற்றவர் தொழுது ஏத்தும்
சீர்கரையூரில்
சீர்கரையூரில்
பாண்டிக் கொடுமுடி
பாண்டி கொடுமுடி
நற்றவா
நற்றவா
உனை நான் மறக்கினும்
உனை நான் மறக்கினும்
சொல்லும் நா நமச்சிவாயவே.
சொல்லும் நா நமச்சிவாயவே.
Good. So this padhigam is a very rhythmic padhigam. You know, I have given you the word separated verses, so you may not obviously see, you may not see the rhythmic pattern visually, but I have given the rhythmic pattern in the top of the padhigam. Tāna tānana tāna tānana tāna tānana tānana. That is the rhythm. So matru patrana kindri nintiru padame manam pavithen petralum pirandhen ini piravada tanmi vandeidinen கற்றவர் தொழுதேத்தும் சீர்கரையூரில் பாண்டிக் கொடுமுடி நற்றவா உனை நான் மறக்கினும் சொல்லுன்னா நமச்சிவாயவே. So that rhythm is there in the song. Now we look at the meaning, what is said here. So matru patru, right? Matru patru we talked about it in the periya purāṇam background song. Patru is attachment, matru is other. Matru patru, other attachments. Yanakku indri. Yanakku is for me. Indri is without. So matru patru yanakku indri means without any other attachments. Without having any other attachments, he is talking of himself. I nin thirupadame manam pavithen. Nin is your, thirupadam is holy feet. Padam is Sanskrit word, thiru is Tamil prefix, thirupadam is holy feet. Manam pavithen. Manam is in my mind. Pavithen means I was thinking. So summary is matru patru enakindri in thirupadame manam pavithen means without any other attachment, I am always thinking of your holy feet. Nin thirupadame, you know, there is a a in Tamil. The a is a suffix that stands for several possible contexts. One of them is emphasis, and that's how we have to interpret here. Okay, there are other places where it comes as a is filler sound. You know, in all the padhigams, all the songs, you will see that at the end there will be a sound. Namachivayave. Right? Namachivaya is the mantram. Namachivayave. A is the ending a sound for all musical songs. So a, depending on the context, have one of several meanings. It can come as a question, interrogative, right? Unde means do I have, is there. So it depends on the context. Here padame is emphasis. So matru patru enakindri, without any other attachments, nin thirupadame, only your holy feet, manam pavithan, I am thinking in my mind. Then he describes a very important concept. Petralum pirandhen. Petralum is a, you have to interpret as peralum. In poetry, occasionally they make some changes to a word for meter, for rhythm, for rhyming, etc. So peralum is the basic word, but he puts an extra to make it petrolum because for rhyming. You know, matru, petra, katra, natra. Tamil rhyming is the first part of the line. So in order to bring in the rhyming, he adds an extra into that word. Petrolum means peralum. pirandhen. Pirandhen is I was born. What does it mean? So, I think of only your holy feet in my mind. Peralum pirandhen. That means, when I got that level of devotion, I felt that I was born. Means, before that, it's like a new birth, right? You know, in all these, some of the religious ceremonies, they say, you know, you take a new birth. You know, like in, like Brahmanas are called Dvijas, because when they get the sacred thread, that is considered as a new birth. That's why they are called Dvija, twice born. Like that. So when you are initiated, when you get a Diksha, or when you are initiated, you will, it is philosophically or spiritually it is considered like a new birth. Like that he says, before that is different, but that's when I was truly born. Means I achieved the benefit of this birth. So petrolum peril, the peril is pavika peril. So when I got to think of that, when I reach that state, that is one way of saying. Or you can also imply a word in front of this, arul, right? Arul peralum perandhen. Once I received your grace, I got a new birth. Or that's when I was truly born. So, when I received your grace, I felt that I have been born. Not only that, what else happened? Ini piravada tanmai vandu eidinen. Ini is from now on, in future, piravada tanmai. Tanmai is quality or state. Piravada means not being born. Pirathal is to be born. Piravada is negation of that. So, any piravada tanmai means the state of not being born again. Vandu eidinen. Eidudal is to get. So, it came and I got that. I received or I reached, I got the state of not being born again. What is that whole line of second line? Petrolum pirandhen. Any piravada tanmai vandu eidinen. As soon as I started thinking of only you in my mind, as soon as I received your grace, I was born again. I was truly born. Not only that, I also got the state of not being born again. Because once you receive Swami's grace, your karma is taken care. There's no more karma. You reach that not being born state again. As you know, in Indian philosophy, we have karma, and the souls take different births. So you take a birth, and then at the end of this birth, if this body is gone, then your soul gets a new body, another birth. It goes on and on and on infinitely. But when you receive Swami's grace, you are freed from this infinite cycle, and you are not born anymore. That's what that line is saying. And the third line, Katravar toldu ஏத்தும் சீர் கரையூரில் பாண்டி கொடுமுடி நற்றவா. So, Kodumudi is the name of the temple. Pandi Kodumudi is because the Pandya king did some a lot of service in this temple. He built the temple, he enhanced the temple, expanded the temple, all that, right? So it is also called Pandi Kodumudi. And Kaṟaiyūr is the name of the place. Historical name of the place is Kaṟaiyūr. So Kaṛaiyūril Pandi Kodumudi means the Kodumudi temple or the Pandi Kodumudi temple in Kaṛaiyūr. And how is this Kaṛaiyūr? In poetry, in Thevaram songs, often you will find some description of the place. It will be describing about the river, it will be describing about the gardens, it will be describing about the hills, it will be describing about the animals, it will be describing about the people who live there. So there will be some description of the place. That is the description here we have. Katravar toldu ஏத்தும் சீர் கரையூர். Katravar is the learned. Kal is to learn. Kalvi is learning in Tamil. Katravar is the learned man, the wise man, the learned man. Katravar, the learned man, the wise man. Tholudi ethum. Tholudi ethudal is to worship and praise. Tholudal is to worship with folded hands. Ethudal is to praise, to sing glories with your walk, with your speech. So Katravar Tholudi ethum. So the learned men worship and sing the praises of kaṟaiyūrk. So seer is that famous, fame, or that good thing. So kaṟaiyūrk Kodumudi temple is praised by the learned people, worshipped and praised by the learned people. That kaṟaiyūrk Kodumudi, in that temple Shiva is dwelling. Natrava. Natrava is null plus tavam. Tavam is the tapas, is the Sanskrit word, comes as tavam in Tamil. So tavan is one who has done a lot of tapas, or one who is doing tapas. Null is good. So natravam is good tapas. Natravan is one who is doing good tapas. Natrava is O Lord, who is the embodiment of all good tapas. You know, like in Thevaram, the Shiva will be addressed as Punya. Punya is embodiment of all virtue. Punyam, embodiment of Punyam is Punyan. Like that, Lal Tavam is good tapas. Natravan is embodiment of all good tapas. So they see the Lord as the embodiment of good tapas. So Natrava, O Shiva, who is the embodiment of good tapas. Unai is Unnai. In poetry, sometimes the syllable is dropped. Unnai is the proper form, but in poetry it comes as Unai here. Unai is Unnai, you. Nan Marakinum. Nan is I, Marakinum is if forget. So Unnai nan Marakinum, even if I forget you, right? Even if I forget you, means I won't forget. Because first line he says, maṭrup patru ēyargōn in ThiruppANdikkodumudi manam bhavithen. So I always think of you without any other attachments. So he is already stated that in the first line. So is he likely to forget? No. But in poetry and in speaking, or even in normal language, if you want to emphasize something, we put that kind of a negative way of constructing the sentence. Right? You know, even if I were to forget you. That means I will not forget you, but even if I were to forget you, sollum na namasivāya. Sollum is it will speak, it will say. Na is tongue. Namasivāya, the namasivāya mantra. So, unai nan marakkinum sollum na namasivāya. That means even if I were to forget you, my tongue will say namasivāya. That means my tongue has been saying namasivāya forever, for a long time, continuously, and even if I don't think of you, even if I were to forget you, my tongue will automatically know to say the name namasivāya. It will automatically say. So that is a very strong affirmation of the devotion that he has got. So what we have to take from here? You know, Sundarar is saying his level of devotion, and what we see here, what we have to know is that we have to aspire to reach that kind of a state. We have to aspire to reach that first line, right? maṭrup patru ēyargōn in ThiruppANdikkodumudi manam bhavithen. That if we aspire to reach that state, if we start saying namasivāya mantram whenever we can, we will reach that level of devotion. So, Atmarama, you can read the whole verse again.
maṭru patru enakku indri nin thiru padame manam pavithen petralum pirandhen ini piravada tanmai vandu edinen katravar tholludu ettum seer kaṟaiyūril pandi kodumudi natrava உன்னை நான் மறக்கினும் சொல்லும் na namasivāya.
Good. So what I am proposing is that we can stop here for today's discussion and continue the remaining songs of the padhigam in the next couple of sessions. But before we close, are there any thoughts or comments on what we have seen today? The 3 verses that you have seen? Okay. If not, we will conclude here. Tiruchitrambalam.